click with memory lock. Put the hole. Pretty stable. The next thing we are going to be adding is these L-rods. L-rod with a memory lock is a perfect fit and a great way to get an absolute hold with our farmer brackets. This one has a pulley on it and it's going to go on this side. And again, lock, tighten, should be good and strong for lots of considerations. The next thing to be doing is to get the mast. For the sake of communication, we'll call this our 1, our 2, and our 3 lever. So the 1, 2, 3 plus the 2 down below make this a 5 lever setup. First we're going to thread the steel cable through. We're going to turn it at about a 30-degree angle perpendicular to the drum. We can just kind of let it sit for now while we try to plot out the rest of our cord threads. But for now, we're going to get lock in our snare drum, and that's going to also fit right into that memory lock and tighten down. This is our simple snare with a snare wire adjust from underneath and a dial to get the tension and the right sound. This is a special head that Aquarian's making for us. It sounds really good for this particular use. For this particular drum, we're going to be adding a cowbell. And we're going to have it kind of maybe sitting right about there. Again, you can switch all these around, and I don't even really know what the best setup is in particular, but for this one, we are deciding to go and route this lever, number 2, coming down on a hit for the cowbell. And we're going to put that over on this right outer pedal. Alright, make sure your cord has free travel to its destination. In this case, I'm going to go on the inside of the tension rod and leave that dangling right there. Because on this number 1 pedal, we're going to also loop that around through this pulley here, which this pulley can be used in several of the locations that mount the mast, the bolts that do that. We're going to share this pulley. And also bring that down inside of the tension rod. So we have 2 cords, both pulling nice and smoothly through their channels and arriving at that right outer pedal. This one we're just going to go through one of the pulleys onto the side, and it's going to be our left pedal, left outer pedal, and that's what's going to be to hit the drumstick. Now for the sticks, you want to, this one is going to be our snare drag. Using your drum key or quick release, you got that. So now we just have it touching the edge of the snare for a subtle effect called a snare drag. This next stick is going to be our main one for the cowbell. And it's going to kind of hit in a shallower spot so that it doesn't produce too loud of a ring. I like that metallic sound, but again, you can shift this around anywhere you like. The last stick is going to be our snare. We want that to hit somewhere in the center. Again, I'm going to put the felt side up because I don't want it to be muffled. You might want to do that for a cymbal. It is kind of a nicer sound for a wash. Good solid sound. Now, what we're going to need to do is adjust on our bottom how to get these properly tensioned. I just put it underneath the washer, between the washer and the aluminum rectangle. And when that's coming down, I want the force to be about equal with the bass drum pedal. I'm going to double it over once, so now I'm going over about 1 1/4. Then I'm going to cinch that knurled knob at the end down as tight as I can. Now you know what I see when I do that. This could also come up and hit the hi-hat if you adjusted the stick outward. And this one, if adjusted down, could also be a snare drag as well, or hitting the hi-hat coming up and not the cowbell. Same on the other side. I'm going to lift the string underneath between the washer and the aluminum rectangle. I'm going to go over once so that it's doubled up at least once. Hold that tension, and then I'm going to screw that knurl down on my hand. Now it's a solid hit. Attaching the mast is as simple as dropping that line. And again, between the washer and the aluminum is what we're looking for. Now we have we're looking for the hi-hat. Your bottom hi-hat, this is your top hi-hat. I'm going to push down a little bit. Now we got a little float. And you're all set up to play. Here's a little quick demo. You want to check to see if any of these strings are falling out of their holder. If you want to do an adjustment so that this is bottoming out at the bottom of the floor and not the drum head, you can adjust this just a little bit more. Same with this. If you don't want this other lever, number 1 in this case, activated for this ghost note, just simply take it off of this cord and you can route it to the left, to the right. Drumsticks can go over or can go in. Cowbells, cymbals, snare drum, they can all be switched around and combined. Pretty much the only thing that's fixed on this is the bass drum and the hi-hat. You can drop a line through one of these holes on either side of the mast and tie one of these extra levers to the hi-hat or the bass. Oops. For another kind of 2-in-1 action.